Welcome to worship with the Universalist Unitarian Church in Peoria. My name is Reverend Jennifer Innis. It is my great joy to serve as the minister with this congregation in all ages, in all stages of life, in all seasons as well. It is a beautiful, beautiful day to be together. I want to welcome all who join us in curiosity and love and justice. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your life's journey, your presence is a blessing. Whether you are with us every Sunday, because of course you want to be with us every Sunday, right? Or once or twice a month, or once or twice a year, or whether you're with us for the first time this morning. It is so good to see you. Welcome. I'm grateful to be offering our first Sunday for the month with the theme of awakening. In that spirit, today's service focuses on the Transgender Day of Visibility that is celebrated on March 31st. This service includes members and friends of the congregation, along with music from our wonderful choir led by Dave Breeden. And in the spirit of our mission to build a beloved community that centers justice, equity, and compassion and interconnection, I want to take a moment to acknowledge our gathering upon native land, that this is the ancestral home of the Peoria people. They welcomed the first European settlers as they came down the river. We honor the Peoria people for who they were in the past and for who they are as they continue to create their community. I also want to take a moment to welcome the newcomers among us. It takes courage to check out a new place and show up in person or online and say hello. And I'm so glad you've joined us today. For newcomers who are online, I invite you to introduce yourself in the chat so our community can welcome you. We'll also want to welcome folks. You're also welcome if you're online and seeing us in the recording to send a note to the church office and help us get to know you that way too. And if you're joining us in person, I hope you'll stick around after service and introduce yourself. Let us introduce ourselves to you. Now, as a note on how we gather together, I invite you to turn your respective devices to worship mode. We also are social distancing. We are masking in the sanctuary while singing and while the children are in worship, as well as in the religious education wing. See the insert in the order of service for more information. And now, we have a couple of special announcements. I want to invite Karen Zichterman up from our Director of Lifespan Religious Education Search Team. Karen.
Asked to give you an update on our search for the Director of Lifespan Religious Education. First, I want to introduce our group, and I don't know how many are in the sanctuary. You know Reverend Jennifer, Doug Allen, Katie Jones, Mike John Garius, who I know is out in his garden right now, Mary Keister, Scott Lampkin, and Sarah Short, and me, Karen Zichterman. So far, I'm going to just give you a little idea of the process that we're going through. So far, we have reviewed the job description and the profile of the congregation. We have developed and implemented a survey and have held cottage meetings to gather as much as input as possible from all of you. The position has been posted, and right now we are reviewing applications as they arrive. Next, we're going to conduct Zoom interviews and then proceed to in-person or on-site interviews. And hopefully, after that, we will have someone absolutely wonderful in place by August 1st. We are looking for a DLRE who will promote the visions of our church and who will work with our families and children and facilitate and oversee the adult RE programming as well. So the DLRE, the lifespan, refers to the idea that this is for the education of everyone, from the children, families, to adults. So that is where we are right now. Thank you.
And I want to invite folks to fill out the survey. If you haven't already done so, we still have paper copies available this week. We'll be closing that down. I think we'll get it done by next Sunday. That would be fabulous. Okay. And let me take a moment to introduce the chair of our annual campaign team, Amanda Franklin.
Good morning. So I'm Amanda Franklin, and I am the chair of this year's annual pledge campaign that we kicked off last week. And I just wanted to first say thank you to all of you who have already submitted your pledges. We've got 29 pledges in so far, and we're already a third of the way to our goal. I truly think that we can meet our goal this year because of our great community. Just a couple of quick things. If you've not picked up your pledge packet, it is out front. We'll move them to the fellowship hall for coffee hour. If you've not been able to come the last couple of weeks, we're going to go ahead and mail any of those packets that are not picked up. We'll mail those this week. Also, I wanted to just go ahead and announce real quick that we have 2 fantastic matching donor programs. So if you have not made a pledge ever for our church, we can match up to $1,500 for new pledge members. And then if you've pledged before, but maybe didn't pledge last year for any number of reasons, we have up to $5,000 in funds to match whatever you pledge. And that's all thanks to generous members here of our congregation. So if you've not pledged last year, please consider pledging this year. It is a fantastic year. We have so much coming. We have a new DLRE on the way. We are opening, we are learning to be together in all of these new ways, and this is how we make those things happen. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please find me. I'll be around. You can email me, but have a great day.
And now, let us continue in worship. Please join me for our first hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. And by popular request, we're going to be singing with Rosa for most of the hymns this morning. Hallelujah, yes. So please rise in body or spirit, number 21 in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. Let me invite the Jones family forward for our opening reading. Here, that's the...
Good morning. By Reverend Sharon Wiley. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you. Every part of you, beautiful, just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be someone more or less or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity.
Nothing to prove here, nothing to prove to me or the person sitting next to you, or to the children or to anyone. You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful, every part of you beautiful, just the way you are. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful, just the way they are. You are extraordinary, each and every one of you. Each and every one of you different from, Each and every one of you different from each other and beautiful in your own way, breathtaking. Let's worship together.
Good morning. Let us look first to the response of love. Reverend Maureen Killoran. In these hard times, let us look first to the response of love. In the midst of challenge, may our chalice flame bear witness to the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. In the midst of uncertainty, may our chalice be a beacon of encouragement, that our values may guide our choices. Let us look first to the response of love.
And now we receive the gift of music from our choir. All right, thank you.
Good morning. Today, as we join our voices in the call for transgender visibility and celebrate every person's right to show up as their full selves in this world, I share with you the story of one young transgender girl entitled My Rainbow by Trinity and Deshauna Neal. Trinity and her siblings played in the warm morning sunlight. Trinity stroked Peter Porker's long mane. She loved soft things, just like many kids with autism. And Peter's hair was perfect. Music sang from Lucian's cello, enveloping the room in tranquility and making it feel safe. "Let's play, Trin," Hyperion said. Their sparkly shirt glittered like stars. Sometimes Trinity and Hyperion's dolls were video gamers. Sometimes they were astronauts. Little Thane's toy was a hot dog this time. Their dolls could be anything, just like Mom said they could. Trinity stayed with her doll long after everyone found other things to do. She stared at its long curly hair and beautiful dark skin. She touched her own short hair. "What's the matter, baby?" Mom asked. Trinity blew out a gust of breath in frustration. "I can't be a girl." "Oh," Mom said. "Why is that?" Because why?" Trinity glanced up. "I need long hair." "Girls can have short hair, see?" Mom ran a hand over her short black hair. "I'm a girl too." Trinity's frown only deepened. "I don't think you understand, Mom. I'm a transgender girl." Mom blinked with surprise. Trinity's gender was part of what made her a masterpiece, just like her autism and her black skin. But Trinity was trying to tell her something important. Mom closed her laptop and sat down next to Trinity. "I'm listening." Trinity let out a big breath, as if she'd been holding it forever. "People don't care if cisgender girls like you have short hair, but it's different for transgender girls. I need long hair. Mom thought for a long moment. You're right. It is different for me. She peered at each of her children. We are all a little different from one another. You're a beautiful rainbow, Trinity. I don't feel like a rainbow right now. Mom knew Trinity struggled to grow her hair long. She hated how it made her itchy when it was growing out. But Trinity knew herself best of all. And if she said she needed long hair, she needed long hair. With a sigh, Trinity picked up a pink comb and began smoothing her doll's hair. When Dad came home from work, Mom was still thinking about what Trinity had said. I have to make things right, Mom said. But how? I don't know, Dad said. Mom didn't know either. Lucian peeked around the corner. I think I can help. Mom grabbed her purse. Lucian led her across the street to the beauty store. There were so many choices. This one's too long, Lucian said. Trinity doesn't like hair touching her neck. And that one's way too straight, Mom said next. She's a beautiful black girl and her curly hair is already perfect. None of these feel right, she sighed. Lucian thought hard. I know what we need. Trinity needs her very own rainbow. That night, as her children slept, Mom sat down with her laptop, a hair needle, thread, and a wig cap. She had never made a wig before. She threaded the hair into the cap like the online video showed. She sewed late into the night, weaving love into every row. The wig had to be just right for Trinity. She poked herself with the needle a few times, got the thread tangled in the curls, and had to chase Peter when he snatched a strand of curly purple hair. But she weaved and weaved until the clock struck 3 a.m. She finally dozed off, hoping her daughter would love it. Mom awoke to the sound of sniffling and sobbing. She gasped. Trinity was crying. Mom dashed into the bathroom. The wig was big and fluffy on Trinity's head. The springy, curly teal, blue, dark, pink, and purple hair that Lucian had chosen lit up the whole room. Trinity's eyes sparkled. She was crying tears of joy. She ran her fingers through the curls. It's me, Mom. My hair has finally come. It's my rainbow. Lucian bounded into the bathroom with the rest of the family behind him to see Trinity's reaction. Thank you, Trinity said. I love my rainbow. And we love you, my heart. May we all strive to see others fully and celebrate who they are and what makes them a precious part of the rainbow of life. So be it.
And now, let us sing our children and youth to class along with their adults. Please join me in singing Go Now in Peace. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love round you everywhere. Peace, go now in peace. From one of our beloved Unitarian Universalist elders, Brandock Lovely. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now keepers of this dream. We'll invite the plates forward, and then once the plates have passed, this will be the time for the lighting of candles, bringing forth the light that shows what is in our minds and our hearts as we share this in community together and enjoy the music for our meditation. We will now pass the plates and receive the offering. Thank you. Now is the time in the service for the sharing of the joys and sorrows, the names and milestones that are from the congregation and in our larger world. I want to begin with a note of healing wishes. We offer our healing wishes to Mary Mulholland Kafar. She is recovering from a bad fall that happened yesterday. I want to thank everybody who has been reaching out to offer support. We'll offer our best wishes for her recovery going forward. We now turn to sorrow. We also offer our care and sympathy to Mary and her family. They just recently found out that Mary's sister, Anne Mooney, died last month. Let us extend our care and sympathy to Mary, to her family, and to all who knew Anne. In the larger Muslim community, this is the start of Ramadan. And I want to offer a reflection from Terna Hamida Tili Gallardo, a facilitator, artist, therapist and healer and performer at Coming Out Muslim, Radical Acts of Love. The reflection in full was shared on the Human Rights Campaign website. Each of us is a door to Allah, God. Ramadan is my favorite time of year as a Muslim. I appreciate the space it offers to turn inward in a meaningful way, to actively remember that we are spirit robed in flesh, as well as opportunities to renew my engagement with the Quran and to connect with community. To my lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning Muslim siblings who have had to look for bonds of community beyond family, who have had to or are in the process of unlearning harmful truths others told you about Islam and your place in it, who have felt far from Allah, who have felt alone. I salute you. I salute all that you are and all you do to keep showing up to stand in your truth. May this Ramadan enrich and increase your nearness to Allah via the inward road to your beautiful heart. May it be so. Let us take one more moment in quiet to hold with us all the names, all the milestones, all the reflections, everything that is in our hearts and lives probably unspoken. There is so much that is in us and around us. Let us hold one more moment in quiet. Amen, Ashe, Salam, Shalom. I invite you into reflection with our hymn, There is a Love. This is not one of the ones in the hymnal. We get to enjoy it together on the screen. For the focus of this service for Trans Day of Visibility, I'm bringing in readings from various voices and shared from various voices. And our first of this is from the Reverend Marcus Fogliano, offering the reading God is Queer from Reverend M. Barclay.
Greetings, Universalist Unitarian Church of Peoria. I bring blessings from the Reverend Dr. Susan Frederick Gray in the Office of the UUA President, and from my colleagues at the Unitarian Universalist Association. And our reading, God is queer, as in strange, surprising, titillating, non-conforming to norms that destroy. As in breaking open new possibilities through flesh entangled and brave acts of collective courage. As in troubling certainties, resisting assimilation and persisting through struggle together. As in interdependence, chosen family, and reaching out to isolated kin. As in always becoming. As in less this or that, and more multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and complex. As in intimately experienced and beyond definition. As in the love between strangers and sheets, the love that lasts for lifetimes, the love that begets love. As in resists white supremacy and all its deadening lies, rigid definitions, and desires to control and confine. As in loyal to love, lovers, beloveds, even when it's all on the line. As in hurtful when spite from the mouth of hate, but sometimes still also a lighthouse, a history of holy uprising and a coming home from within, enfleshed.
I want to invite you to rise in body or spirit. Turn in the teal hymnal to number 1053. We will sing through Libby Roderick's How Could Anyone? For this service, given the social and legislative efforts to harm children, youth, and adults who are LGBTQ+, and the people who love them, I wanted to spend a moment on families and parenting. This reading is by the Reverend Evan Carvel-Ziemer, staff with our Unitarian Universalist Association Central East region. Evan is also genderqueer and uses a range of pronouns. They gave me permission to share this piece today. Dear Moppies, Maddies, and Babas. Men who have given birth, women whose children still call you daddy, queer parents of all genders and none. There isn't a holiday set apart for us. We're reminded of that twice a year. But I see you. I see you next to your wife's hospital bed, snuggling your newborn, skin to skin, against your top surgery-scarred chest, while the nurses try to avert their eyes and not ask questions. I see you grieving the children you helped dream into this world and lost when your ex decided biology trumps the hours you spent raising them and the deep love for your children, not of your DNA. I see you chest feeding your baby while glaring at people wishing you Happy Mother's Day. I see you who have lost custody because a court agreed that it was less confusing for your children for you to disappear from their lives than for them to see you as who you really are. And I see you trying to survive, not fully transitioning so you can see your children. I see you radicalizing your PTA. Take them down. Taking down the Donuts with Dads Day. Confusing strangers by calling your infant they until they're old enough to declare their gender. Raising children who ask strangers about their pronouns. There's no day with newspaper circulars advertising the stuff our children should buy us. Would we choose the flowers, perfume, pedicure day? Or the tools, fishing gear, golf club day? Or both? Or neither? Or maybe just ditch that consumerism, like maybe entirely. What would be the rituals of our day? Well, maybe there's a breakfast ritual, whatever works for your family. I propose we paint everyone's nails because nail polish is for everyone. And the Maddie Baba of the day can choose. Is this a relaxing kind of day or a get something done kind of day? Sometimes there's that lingering special project, and if it could just get done today. So maybe this is a day for the next level of tool use instruction for everybody. Because everybody gets to use the power tools, just tie the hair back in the process. Or maybe we watch Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and weep when Mitzi meets his child. And blow kisses to photographs on the wall. Or if our kids are watching us, we'll fast forward through the parts they're not ready for and tell stories of the people who first showed us how fabulous gender could be. And then there should be some kind of dance party before the kids go to bed with the full use of the costume bin, because drag queens like Mitzi inspire that kind of thing. And bedtime will be like every night. We will read our favorite books and change the default he to they. We will sing them lullabies like Everything Possible by Fred Small, so they know how wide open the possibilities of their lives are. And then, at our house anyway, we'd sit in the living room retelling the stories of the heart and about the heartbreak and the hilarity of parenting, because that's certainly universal. The options are endless. While we may not fit in the dominant mold, neither has capitalism constrained our day. The world might not see us, but we can see each other and celebrate the love and devotion we have for our children. We celebrate the gifts we give the world by being ourselves, so that all children might know how wide open the possibilities for their lives are. So that all children might know those possibilities. And now I want to invite you to join me with Everything Possible by Fred Small. This isn't necessarily the easiest hymn to sing as a congregation, but you are welcome to turn to page 1019 in the Teal hymnal and sing along as much as you wish, especially the chorus. I want to thank my colleague for offering the recording of this hymn today.
We have cleared off the table, the leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away. I have told you a story and tucked you in tight at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. There are kids who grow up strong and bold. There are others quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some follow behind. Some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men, some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they will give the same back to you. You can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. The love you leave behind when you're done.
I'd like to invite Katie Jones up for our reading.
To the people who have mistaken freedom for liberation, by Teresa Soto. To be free, you must embrace the breath of your own existence without apology, even if they try to take it from you. You must know not that you can do whatever you want. You are not a kudzu vine, eating entire hillsides for the purpose of feeding your own lush life. You must know instead that inside you are entire universes, milky blue, magenta, and gold, expanding. But to be actually free, you must know and you must fight for the entire universes inside of everyone else. Being free is not a license, but a promise.
On this Trans Day of Visibility celebration, there is, of course, much to say, but I will be brief. What's known as Transgender Day of Visibility, known as International Transgender Day of Visibility, was created in 2009 by activist Rachel Crandall in Michigan because trans folks need at least a day of recognition, not only a day of remembrance. They need a day of recognition, if not also celebration, and not just a day of mourning. It is honored on March 31st every year. In fact, last year, our President Joe Biden proclaimed and officially recognized this day in our country. We need the visibility offered by institutions whenever possible. Institutions such as a liberal congregation, because we are one of the places where people feel like they can be themselves. You know, as someone who grew up in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, I knew as a child, as a youth, and as a young adult, I had the privilege of witnessing a woman come into the church and share her effort at becoming the woman that she knew she was, that she always wanted to be. She had given up economic security. She had given up all kinds of privilege for the sake of who she knew she was. That was in the 1980s and 1990s. Can you imagine how phenomenally challenging that was and how precious it was to find a place where that evolution could happen? I'm not saying the congregation necessarily understood it all in the process, but it was the space. Over the past few decades, in our congregations, there are so many more adults becoming visible, and also our children becoming, and children and youth becoming, coming into themselves and more able to talk about this more often. Part of our ministry, part of our work, and as a liberal institution, with our love of language, we should provide the language. I'm so glad when we do. And we provide the models in how to be in community. What a gift to be able to do so. What a gift from those of us who are in the congregation to be able to offer such a space. It is a gift for our own growth and our own development and our own understanding of the full range of gender and sexuality, the human experience. What an opportunity. What a ministry to practice hospitality, radical welcome, to practice self-education, and to expand our own understanding of language, becoming also more familiar with how oppression impacts all of us. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Yes, Dr. King. Now I will offer in Unitarian Universalism, we're very much still in a growing learning curve, sometimes as individuals and sometimes as an institution, for understanding how to be more welcoming and more inclusive of folks who are transgender. But we are getting better. We are growing in acceptance and understanding. And I'll offer, it is entirely fine and okay to have questions, to not understand, to wonder about the language and the ever-evolvingness of and the expanding world of identity and orientation. We had a series of such conversations last November for our adult education program that was leading up to the Transgender Day of Remembrance, in fact. And we got deep into the unpacking and what's the latest and, oh, how has this changed and how do I get to change as a result? But I think the key in being a place and being an institution that can be supportive and be advocates is simply practice, is simply exposure, is simply hearing the stories and the language as we've been offering today. And that practice is part of the purpose of today's service, of centering trans voices, reminding ourselves of the breadth of human experience. And to do so is radical in two ways, two forms of meaning, both by getting to the root, the heart of human experience, and to further unpack it and to comprehend it, but also radical as the countercultural, against the forces who would not allow children to hear the word gay in school, as Florida just signed into law. I looked at the language a little bit of that, and it's mostly concerned with how parents can protest or say no, they don't want their children to be exposed to whatever the content might be. But there is one particular phrase, one particular sentence that is saying, that the children in grades kindergarten through 3 shouldn't have instruction about sexual orientation beyond what's developmentally appropriate. Oh, that's going to be a mess. That's going to be bad. So they wouldn't be able to hear a story necessarily, such as we heard today about My Rainbow, right? We just need to keep showing up. Keep being visible as advocates and allies and supporters and co-conspirators. And keep bringing in ourselves in this practice today and every day, because this is how we are the religious education program too, right? Not just having, but we are the example of faith development in all of our lives. So I offer this moment of witness for our siblings who are trying to live into their lives and their truth, and as a reminder of the expansiveness of our human experience, that we will keep growing and going. Amen. Our closing reading is blessed and will be by the Reverend Mr. Barb Grieve, and will be offered again by Reverend Marcus Fogliano.
Blessed are the trailblazers. Blessed are the trailblazers who brought us this far and are still trailblazing, still celebrating. Blessed are the drag queens and kings who remind us to not take life too seriously. Blessed are the gender benders, non-binary, gender fluid, and third gender folks, those who challenge us to reframe our gender paradigm. Blessed are the young ones who persist fearlessly from the start. Blessed are their parents who make space for freedom and love their children fiercely. Blessed are the siblings and relatives who educate, support, and love us as we are. Blessed are the genderqueer youth who are struggling and persisting. Blessed are the 90-year-olds just coming out and those who have been out for decades. Blessed are those who live whose lives were cut too short. Their stories live on through us. Blessed are the survivors. May they keep on living. Blessed are the allies learning to be accomplices. Blessed are those gathered here today, witnessing, learning, celebrating. May we all commit to continue showing up, fighting for justice, celebrating all the genders in life. that mean?
Number 170. It is Holly Near's We Are a Gentle, Angry People in the gray hymnal. And we'll be singing 3 verses. The first 2 are as they are in the hymnal, number 1 and 2. And the third verse is a newer adaptation created by Holly and announced by herself in a concert in 2017. And we'll be having a slide that shows the 3 verses that will help too. Holly Near says, I wrote this song when Harvey Milk and George Moscone were assassinated. She says, we originally sang We Are Gay and Lesbian Together. And then we changed it to We Are Gay and Straight Together. And now as we are learning more about gender and sexuality, it requires so many more syllables than we can fit into the song. But let us sing. We are all in this together. Now let us sing.
Flame in Our Hearts by Vanessa Williams. Like the flame of the chalice, may the flame in our hearts burn, remaining unextinguished. May it ignite our energies, our drive, our resolve to dream, to build, and live in the world. That good which exists, for now, only in our imaginings.
Much of ministry is a benediction, a speaking well of each other and the world, a speaking well of what we value, of honesty, love, forgiveness, trust, visibility. A speaking well of our effort, a speaking well of our dreams. This is how we celebrate life, through speaking well of it, living the benediction, and becoming, as a word, well spoken. Our worship is ended. Let our service begin.